want some, get some, bad enough, take some.
Welcome back to episode 84 of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel and Nikki B.
Is that what we're doing? Hello, welcome to episode 84 of Fangin' and Bangin' with Gangrel, Nikki B, and Raymond back from Germany over there in the corner pouting because he found out what Germany's all about. But 84. We missed a week, I suppose. Halloween came around. 2 weeks? Was it 2 weeks?
I think it was 2 weeks.
No wonder it was so hard to drag me back in here today. I was hoping Raymond didn't text. I was going, don't text. And it was like Monday went by. I went, yes, no text. And then Tuesday came and I go, oh, you're home? I knew he was home. I go, oh, you're home already? I thought he was still in Germany. I need a day of bad TV and not like bad TV like Housewives of Atlanta, New York, or Dubai or something like that. But maybe House of Villains or something. I accidentally put that on the other day. I was washing dishes, so I don't know about you.
White noise?
Yeah, I have to have noise because I can't deal with the voices in my head and the thoughts in my mind and stuff like that. So I got to have some kind of noise. I constantly have music on. But for whatever reason, I said, let me just put the TV on. So I started washing some dishes. I went to full clothes, and there was a show, House of Villains, on. And I know Johnny Fairplay. I've been around him a lot, done some stuff with him. So I was like, Johnny's on it. Let me see what he's doing on there. But it wasn't him that drew my attention. I was just slowly, and I just kept getting drawn into it. And then there was that guy, Johnny Bananas, who was on the BRCW show this past weekend in Boca. I was like, hey, is that Johnny Bananas guy? I thought he was just, I don't know the reality people like Mark Long from MTV's Road Life or whatever, that MTV, whatever one from
Real
MTV.
Life.
So they use all them in their show in Boca. They use a lot of those guys. But I knew Johnny, but Johnny Bananas was on there, but I knew Johnny Fairplay. I go, oh. But then I slowly got drawn into it like every other bad thing on TV. Now I'm like going, I'm going to have to go back and watch all the House of Villains. But that might have been on my plan today if I didn't have to come in here because it's raining out.
Oh, yeah.
No class tonight. Well, there's technically a class, but I'm going to bail on this Thursday night. And, I could go to the school, but I just got the thing cut out of my back. So I was going to think, I'm just going to chill today and let these stitches heal up. And what's going on there? I don't know. Oh, speaking of the devil, that's Nelio. What's going on there? But I don't know. Where have you been? Let's start with your weekend or what's gone on with you the last 2 weeks. I can't even remember mine. Once maybe you explain yours, I'll remember what I've done.
Well, you were just in Denmark. I know that this past weekend.
Danish Krone over there.
Yeah, we had CCW had Bash at the Brew this past weekend, so it was cool. It was a really good show, actually. Probably out of all the bashes that I've been to, that's probably my favorite one. Everyone, did well, so it was cool.
Bash at the Brew. That's the unbranded brewery.
Unbranded brewery
CCW,
in Hialeah. Yeah, it was a good show. Everyone did well. I was happy about that.
Who was the main event there?
The main event, it was QT Marshall and shoot, I already forgot.
El Fuego.
El Fuego, yeah. Sorry.
I heard El Fuego runs the same finish on every show. It's just the referee, the foot on the ropes, and then the Port St. Lucie. I don't know. Rumors I hear, stories I hear. No way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match. They did well. It was nice to see a different dynamic. Different dynamic than what we're used to seeing.
Who'd Matodi wrestle? Did he wrestle?
He did not.
He did not?
No.
He wasn't on the show?
He wasn't.
Really? Bash at the Brew?
Well, he was there, but he didn't wrestle.
Oh, that's strange. Oh, okay. What girls' match was it? Kylan King?
Yes, and I forgot her name. This is bad.
No, probably not. Was it any good?
It was, yeah.
Okay. All right, and then Kylan's good. Kylan's really good.
Yeah, I heard she used to train at CCW, so it was cool.
She did. She trained with the Dudleys originally and some with Billy Gunn. Then she trained at CCW for a little while, or at my school. Then she came to GWA, and then she went to CCW when we went over there, and then she went back. I believe she's probably training with QT and them now up there in Georgia. She lives in Atlanta now, but okay. She was a beast. She was always good. She was always dedicated to her craft, and she always has nice gear.
Yeah, she was really sweet when I talked to her. So.
Yeah. So but what else? Anything else stood out? Anything? Being a future pro wrestler you want to be? Anything?
Well, as of Tuesday, I've been wrestling for 6 months.
You've been training for 6 months.
Training for 6 months to wrestle.
So a lot of people make those mistakes when they like somebody will, like the older guys will always set somebody up. They'll come and go, oh, how long have you been wrestling for? And they'll go, oh, been about 3 years. And then they'll go, well, how many matches have you had in those 3 years? Oh, well, 2. I go, oh, that's not right. Like, you know, you've been training, yeah. So training 6 months, yeah. So how do you feel about it after the 6 months?
I mean, it's really cool. You know, definitely a lot to work on, but I'm excited on all the improvements. I know that I've come, you know, this far, and I haven't thought to quit yet. So I think we're doing great.
Told you to go home on the first day.
Get
out of there.
I didn't listen.
Run for your life. Run,
and I still won't.
Run.
No, I definitely enjoy it, and you know, it's a time to. Anytime that I'm there, getting better, improving, it's always a good feeling. So I always crave that, you know, wanting
You're doing
to get
great.
better.
You're doing great. Actually, all the girls are doing great. Some of the guys are struggling, but all the girls are doing great. There's a great group of girls that are there right now. I'd put against anybody anywhere else. I would bet on all you young ladies. But we've turned some corners this last 3 weeks in classes. They've been good classes. I think the Alpha Brain. I'm on the Alpha Brain. And
I started taking it too.
Oh yeah, what do you think about
it? I mean, honestly, it definitely helps. It doesn't give you that weird like anxiety that caffeine does, but it just like
dials you in.
Yeah, it dials you in, kind of like tunes out whatever else is going on.
Are you on the Alpha Brain now?
I haven't taken it this morning. No.
Oh, okay. So what I learned about the Alpha Brain, I could be wrong, because I just crashed yesterday, but I started taking it daily because of the classes and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I didn't take it yesterday, and I felt like I had a crash, like a really bad crash. Now, I don't know if that was just coincidental that I'm just crashing because I'm just tired from all the travel.
I think so, because you also came from Denmark, like a whole different, you know, time zone. Then you went straight to class, and then late, and then again Tuesday, then again Wednesday, and then,
it was the last 3 weeks that got me, really. That whole October is really a busy time through November, so, like, the 3 weeks out, I did Chicago, then I went to Detroit, and then I flew to L.A. on the Sunday, did L.A., flew back that Monday morning with no sleep that night, class, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, back out Thursday to San Diego, did 4 shows and a seminar, back on the West Coast, flew back in again, did class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then flew to Philly, which was this time zone, thank you, thank travel gods, it was this time zone, but it was a convention and a show, and then when I came home, then Wednesday, I went back out to Denmark, and that was a tough one. Travel. I thought I would get to see the beautiful country of Denmark, but I didn't see shit. I saw a seat in the car. I get there, so I land, and I think no delays. I go, wow, everything was amazing. The flights. I got into the Admiral's flagship lounge, so they have like prime rib and champagne and all that, because it's an international flight. So I'm sitting there with my finger up and like having a little Jack Daniels on the rocks, you know, just a little sip of whiskey, you know, this little sip, nothing fancy. And getting ready, I get on the plane. It's on time. Boom, get to London Heathrow, connect through passport control. Boom, that flight's on time, even though there was a horrible storm hitting. So I thought, you know, I'd be delayed and stuck there on that end. And everything was great. Get there. I get to the airport probably a half hour earlier than I was supposed to be. I write the guys, and I go, hey, I'm here. And they go, you're where? And I go, I'm here in Denmark. Oh, we'll send the ride in 25 minutes. We didn't realize you're here already. I'm like, oh, okay. No big deal. I go to the coffee shop. An hour goes by. I write him again. I go, where's the guy at? And he's like, oh, he says he's there. He can't find you. I go, it's only 2 terminals. It's a tiny little airport in Denmark. I go, how can he not find me? He says, I said, I'm at the coffee shop right in here. Another hour goes by. And then he goes, can you go stand outside? He just can't. He says he doesn't seem to be able to find you. And I'm standing outside in the rain. So I do that for an hour. So 3 hours have gone by. Now I'm getting hot. Now I go, look, there's a hotel across the parking lot. There's only 2 terminals here. I don't know how this guy can't find me. And so I said, you can see this Clarion Hotel, like, it's connected to the airport. I said, I'm just going to walk across. Little did I know I could have walked through the airport and not got wet, but I was already wet anyway. So I walked across. I go, all right, I'm in a Clarion Hotel. There's no Terminal 1 or no Terminal 2 or Terminal 2 and 3 to get mixed up in. Wish they were just literally connected. It was the tiniest little, it wasn't even big for an international airport. It was a busy airport, but it was quiet then. There was nothing there. It was dead. So I stood in that lobby for an hour. And then,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
so
4 hours?
so I write, as I'm writing the guy, listen, man, I'm getting a hotel here. You know, you could either pay this hotel or I could go home, or you put me in a taxi to where you're going. I'm not waiting on this guy. The guy walks in, and I go, oh wait, the guy's here. Let me go. The guy goes, oh, my car's broke down over there. I'm like, what? Broke down? Why? He goes, oh, I turned it off and I lights dead the battery. I go, why is your car turned off? If you're riding around looking for me the whole time, why was your car off? Right? Where are you at? And he's right where I was standing. Like, oh, right here. So he was sitting there the whole time and he couldn't see. I was like, and I got a little frustrated. And then the guy, he said, the dude's like, oh, just give me your PayPal, get the room or whatever. So it was like a really expensive room because it was at the airport. But I'm glad I stayed there because, like, the next night, like, fucking A. Like, so I stayed there that night and they had a really nice breakfast. It was an airport hotel. It was like normal, like kind of a hotel, kind of like in the States, but not really. They only have 2 little comforters. The beds are kind of weird. You know, it's Europe. But it was nice big shower, nice hot shower, great buffet breakfast in the morning. And then they picked me up and we got to go to the show. And it's that same little car, I guess. Apparently, it was the other guy's car, but the other guy didn't know how to jump it when it was dead or something. Oh, so I get in there and they drive me and they drop me off at. They go, oh, you got a seminar today. Okay, so they dropped me off at another little hotel for an hour by a train station. I took pictures out the thing. It was 2 little single beds pushed together to make a twin almost. Not even like a double, but make a twin. And that's fine. I'm used to that too. But then the toilet was in the shower, so like...
You posted a picture on Facebook.
Yeah, I posted a picture on Facebook. So to use the restroom, I had 1 foot... Not that you want to hear about my business, but I had 1 foot in the room, 1 foot in the shower as I sat on the toilet. Like, it looked out the window at the city. I'm like, hey. And that was doable. But then, you know, I was only in that room an hour, and they go, oh, yeah, go do the seminar. So I do a seminar, and then I do the show, and then I think, oh, I'm going to get out of here early because the venue was close. Because they said I got to leave. I got to be up at 6 a.m. to do ferry rides and get to this next town, which is like this whole travel day process to get there. Like, oh. So I get back there early, and apparently, because it's Christmas time coming, this is the first day of the year that they release a Christmas beer. So they give out free samples all night, and it's a big celebration. So apparently, like, the drinking age is 17 there. So apparently the whole town gets drunk that night. So my hotel was on the corner of a train station and the edge of all the bars in town. So, like, even with the windows closed, all I heard was people singing and partying, and then a fight. And they truly are, like, a really happy country. Because a fight would break out. You would hear, like, one punch. You could hear it, like, boom, and it would stop. Somebody would stop it, and then they would all start singing and hugging again. This went on till 5 in the morning. I got up at 6. So I didn't sleep. I'm like, oh, my goodness. So I didn't sleep. It's driving me absolutely nuts. And then we go take the ferry ride. It wasn't so bad. They had a breakfast on it, so you know, some suspect eggs, but some fruit and stuff like that. So it was good. But then they dropped me off at the venue like at 1. I'm like, what am I gonna do? I thought I had to go early because I had a seminar the day before, but Tajiri is on the show and he has a seminar. So I thought, like, his seminar was before the show. They go, no, his is after the show. And I'm like, after the show? What are we doing all this time? They go, can we go to the hotel? They go, oh, there's no hotel tonight. Like, what do you mean there's no hotel tonight? Oh, you got to travel all night back to the airport and blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh. So sat at the venue all day. No sleep the night before. Sat at the venue all day. Did the show. Showered in the janky-ass little shower, but it was a shower. Preparing for the long journey of the night, and we did stop somewhere for an hour where we laid down in like a barn, like it was beds, but it wasn't as bad as it sounds. But the journey was bad. But there was no shower, which I'm a kind of guy. I like to shower a lot. Like,
me too.
And I feel like a shower gets me going, like before a flight. That shower first thing for like that 20 hours of travel is gonna come upon you. So
yeah, first thing I do after I travel is shower.
So it was an all night thing, and then I get to Denmark, the airport, and again, everything's moving smooth, everything's good. Back in the lounge, had another little shot for breakfast because it was really like bedtime for me because I hadn't been to bed in 2 days. So I had some eggs, had a little bit of food, and the plane's on. Get on the plane, it's supposed to be on time, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, the stairs have had a fight with the door, the cargo door of the plane, so we have a scratch in there. we got to check it out. There's a paperwork. 3.5, 4 hours later, sitting on the plane, they get cleared to finally take off. And of course, I missed a couple of different flights over in London. And I get there, and now if you ever been to London Heathrow, from one terminal, it could be like a 5-mile bus ride. Like literally, like it's insane over there, right? Yeah. So, you got terminal 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, 5 I was flying in and out of was good, but because I missed my connections, I had to go back to 3. And they had me in the middle seat on that flight. I go, oh, but there's a 12 o'clock flight leaving in 2 hours. Can I get on that? It's an American flight. Because I booked on American originally. So they're like, oh, yeah, but you got to go back to Terminal 3. I'm like, oh, but I saw there were seats. It was like loaded with seats. Time I got to Terminal 3, there was no seats, just the middle seat left. So either way, I was getting the middle seat if I wanted to go home. So I did 10 hours. So after being delayed all that time, getting there and then being delayed, and then I ended up sitting 10 hours in the middle seat back home to Miami. But I'm here. Made class on Monday, Tuesday. And here today, banging and banging. So, that was like my last few weeks and stuff. But it was good. I'm blessed. Well, every time, I get frustrated about it. And people go, oh, how do you do all that travel, this and that? But I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how you dig a ditch for 8 hours a day outside in the sun. And I've done it, so I know exactly what it feels like. Because I have done jobs like that. So I'm going, my job's not so bad. Like, travel sucks. You can get stuck places, but I've learned to accept things that they're out of my control. I'll be in a plane, it'll land in another airport, not where it's supposed to be. The person I'm traveling with, Susan, she'll be like, oh, they landed in here, we're not at home. And I'm like, okay, well, let me know when we're getting home. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, literally.
And if you get mad, you're the only one getting mad about it. There's other people mad already, but you're just going to be miserable. So you just make the best of it and you keep moving and grooving.
Control the controllables.
But LTD, I call it, living the dream, just get out there, keep grinding. I'm blessed to do what I love for 36, 37 years. So
that's awesome.
But that was mine. But somebody else had a road trip this week, too, this past week or 2 weeks while we weren't here, Raymond. So I tell him, don't go over there. And I'm not knocking all of Germany, but I said, Raymond, I don't think you're going to like it. And he comes back with his, I said, how's Germany, Raymond? I'm never going back there again. I ain't going back. I'm like, oh. But he turned it all racial or something. I don't know. I don't know what he made it, but he had a tough time over in Germany. But you went by yourself for one. It's always going to be lonely by yourself. I mean, adventures are great, but when you're by yourself, you have nobody to turn to going, am I crazy or do they just treat me like that? Yeah, you know what I mean? You need that. You need that validation or like, I'm not insane. Like, this just happened. They just threw my food at me and told me to get out. But yeah, he had a tough trip, but he doesn't plan on going back there again. He said he's going to go back to Japan, though. He likes Japan, but of course he went with all that anime stuff and the weird clothing he wears. He'd fit right in over there in Shinjuku or somewhere.
I want to go.
Japan's an awesome place to go. Germany's awesome too. I love Germany, but
definitely on the list.
I guess Raymond didn't have a good trip there, but I love it. I love Hanover and Bremen. I've had nothing but great times, and I never had no problems there, Raymond. But
he's touching his skin. Would I survive?
Yes, you'd be all right. They might think you're a prostitute, but
add that to the bingo card for
2023. You'd be like, because there's some nice looking prostitutes there. They have like nice brothels and stuff, and
But they all.
I don't think you are. I said they might.
I hope not. I was like, we've been this far, Coach. What the hell?
Well, some of those people are like ruthless over there.
Oh yeah.
You gonna block out my McDonald's sweet tea, Raymond?
No, I don't think McDonald's is expensive now.
Yeah, they raised the price on the sweet tea. I
missed their dollar menu.
I don't go through McDonald's very often, but it seems like I've been there a lot this last week for whatever reason. Life, you've had to eat that. You know what's today's Thursday. I don't know what today's date is. What's today's date, Raymond?
November 9th.
I think it's National Fried Chicken Day or Chicken Sandwich Day or something like that.
Okay, nice.
You should have got us some Popeye's chicken sandwiches in here to eat. Some spicy chicken sandwiches. She'll eat the Popeye spicy chicken sandwich. We'll all eat that. You should have ordered that. Grubhubbed it up right here. We should have been eating that, dude. We should have just did a whole review on that Popeye spicy chicken sandwich. Is it really as good as they say it is?
Yeah, just try out a couple of different ones. And then when I can't get over the rope, then Coach will know why.
What is your favorite chicken place? Where's your go-to chicken?
Chick-fil-A.
I do like Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A.
I don't think Raymond likes them. Susan doesn't like them. My wife does not like them because of something about, not the church on Sunday thing, but I think something with the LBGT community. Or something.
I guess politics aside and everything aside, their food, I would say Chick-fil-A. I try not to get involved in.
Somebody.
It's hard to keep up, you know.
A guy came to do a wrestling review.
I don't know.
There's a
Maybe
guy
it's
that does
like the
wrestling
chicken.
reviews on schools and stuff like that, and shows.
Okay.
So he came, not on schools, but on wrestling shows. He came to our wrestling show, right? And he goes, Gangrel's Wrestling, this is when I had my place. Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum was like the Chick-fil-A of indie wrestling. I go, is that good or bad? They go, no, it's great, because they said it's efficient. People met you at the door. They greeted you. Your service was done. He was like, boom, boom. You can pull in Chick-fil-A and go, oh, my gosh, I'm not going to do that line. That line is, like, tremendous. But you'll be through that line quicker than you will a Wendy's or a McDonald's line. At Chick-fil-A, they're efficient. Is that the word?
Yeah,
They get their shit done. They're on point. They boom, 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 boom. And I do like Chick-fil-A, but if I want to, they got that thing. But, if you really want that, you can go to Speedway or Racetrack. I might, which one, I don't know. But I think they sell day-old Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and they just wrap them in their own shit. And like, it'll taste just as good as Chick-fil-A. I didn't
know that.
I think it's Speedway. It's either Speedway or Racetrack. They're both red. So it's the red one, but it's either.
It must be Racetrack then, because they're the ones that have food out and stuff.
Well, they'll have it
Speedway.
right almost at the register. There'll be chicken sandwiches at the register, and I swear to you, they're just as good as the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. The one with the pickle on it, the fried one, not the grilled, the fried one. But if I'm gonna get something fried, and I always eat grilled chicken. I'm a grilled chicken guy, but I will eat in a time and eat fried chicken. My go-to will be Popeyes, spicy chicken. Yeah, the spicy chicken sandwich. Yeah, that's the go-to.
So you wrestled in the United Kingdom 6 months out of the year for 18 years straight.
Yeah, you forgot a T in there, but go on.
18 years straight. And then question for you is...
This question is, I could actually spell, huh?
Yeah.
No, I can't, though. I just happen, I've always, straight just happens to be in my texts a lot for some reason. And no, I'm not saying, I'm straight.
You gotta clarify.
I'm straight, dog. I'm straight. So, all right.
How did you end up working a gig where you wrestled in the UK for 6 months out of the year for 18 years? And what point of your career was this? Was it prior or after WWF?
Okay, so you're asking me.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Well, all right, so this was after WWE. After WWF, actually. It was WWF then. I broke my neck. And when I got cleared from having the broken neck, I got released. And when I was home 2 weeks. I was like, what the hell am I going to do with myself? I don't know. You still get 3 months of whatever they pay for 3 months. Don't go wrestle anywhere else. But they gave me a quick release because a fella named Orig Williams called me from Ireland. He's a Welsh fella. He wrestled as El Bandito. Great guy. But he said, hey, Gangrel, I have, I can't do his voice, but he's this little bad little Welsh dude. He's an awesome dude. And he says, I have a tour of Ireland coming up. Do they have anything going on? Do they want to come to Ireland? And I was like, sure, I'd like to go to Ireland. And then, so we booked a flight, and I was in Ireland. I got a quick release where they didn't hold me to that 3 months. They were cool with me. They said, yeah, go on. So I went over there, and it was a 2 or 3 week tour. I had a blast. I was over there with people like Frankie Sloan, James Mason, Big Pete. People you don't know probably, but a lot of their mainstay in the European scene and stuff like that. The tour was wrapping up, and Orig said to me, hey, you got anything going on? I go, no, I just got released. I don't have anything going on yet. And I've been in Ireland, so still wasn't internet suave there. It wasn't a big thing, so was really out of touch with the world, kind of. I don't know anything going on besides drinking in Ireland. And he said, oh, well, he broke a guy in named Brian Dixon who runs All Star Wrestling. He helped Brian out when Brian started. And he goes, he thought I would do good over there. He thought I would fit in, I would fit in with the guys, because he used his guys on the Ireland tour. A lot of the guys work for Brian. I said, sure, I ain't got nothing else going on. So I went from Ireland to England, up in Birkenhead area, which is just under Liverpool. But they would run mostly London, and they ran all over England. But they were based out of just below Liverpool, Merseyside there. And so I went and stayed another 2 months, get over there, and I did that, and then from that point on, I got along well with Brian, and then so all the way from that point up to the pandemic, one time I missed one season, which I would say was I call seasons 3 months, right? So, So I would go. I would go like at the end of September, October, November, and I'd come home around Thanksgiving, or I'd come home in December, right? So then I'd come home through Christmas, whatever, and then the end of January, February, and March, and I'd come home in April. So those were 2 seasons like that. They had town shows and all that, kids out of school, like different things. He ran a lot of the holiday camps called Butlins over there. You probably heard about, but he had just as many. I call them proper town shows, but that were in venues in the towns and stuff. So I did all the town shows. So those were seasons. Those would be like 3 months to 3 months. So that's how you get the 6 months out of the year, right? So, and I did that for 18 straight years for him, except for WWE hired me back one time during one of those seasons, but I was released by the time the next season came around. So it was I probably missed a February, and then I was back over there by October, and then back in the group again. So, but I did go 18 straight years to the pandemic, and you wrestled over there. I wrestled 7 nights a week, like sometimes two times a day, up to 3 times a day. A lot of the guys were doing 2-3 shows a day because they would do the Butlins and stuff, and they would do a Butlin there one day in the morning and do one late in the evening show, and then they would move on to the next one. So they would do they were like malls to me, but they were these holiday places. So people would book middle class people would book holidays, and like to me they were like a mall. It would just be this building, and they would have like restaurants in it, and they would have a stage, and they would have shows. These people were red coats, and then there would be these little apartments outside it that surrounded this like mall area, like this kind. And they would all stay in that, and they would just go. They would go, yeah, sorta, but on land.
But on land, yeah.
But and they would all spend their holidays. So when kids were out of school, they would go there. So they ran that, but he had so many. He was so busy and shows. He had just as many talent shows. So I would do the talent shows, and then sometimes he'd go, oh, you ride with me, we're going to go over, he needed to go check the merch or do something on another one. He goes, so then I would work a double shot. So I would do the town show. I would do that camp in the morning and do the town show at night, and so on and so on. So it was great. You wrestle so much. The people in the UK are one step up once, and then, because they would come here to the States, and they'd like, how many years you been wrestling? And they would say like 3. But they were three, but they did 7 matches a night in 3 years. They were doing 7 matches a night, a week, 7 matches a week. So, add that up. Well, just round it off. Let's just cut it out. Take 1 week out and just say they did 21 matches in a month.
Wow.
Right? So 12 months, 21 times 12, right? I can't add, can you? Times, you good with that? No? You're not going to do it? All right.
Horrible with math.
I don't know, but that's a lot of damn shows. And then you do that for 12, put 12 in there.
Put me on the spot
So
like
21
that.
times 12 is what?
That's 252.
So that's like 252 matches a year, right? 252 matches a year. There's probably more than that because I just low-ended that, right? So that's how much experience they got working with amazing talents. And there was talents like Regal, Fit Finlay, different people that came through there. And the ones that went to WWE out of some of these places that I was working were like Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. He was called Drew Galloway then. Wade Barrett, who's he was Stu Sanders there, but he's Wade Barrett. Now he's doing commentary. A lot of those guys were all signed. They came out of that period that I was in there, that 18 years. They were just young guys starting out, and they got hired up and in. So, but people would say, like, that's why I say it's kind of a trick question. I go, how long you been wrestling? Or training? You got to say, I've been training for 6 months. Yeah. So training for 6 months, because they'll ask you then, how long you been wrestling then? You'll be like, I mean, if they say you're wrestling and it's like a trick thing, you'll be like, oh, because it's just setting you up. So you just always stay humble and go, no, I've been training for 6 months, and I'm looking forward to hopefully having a match one day soon. But you're doing fine. For your 6 months journey, you're like ahead of the game. You're like way ahead of the game. Once we get the confidence thing down and which you're getting, it's coming. You're ahead of the game. You're doing fine. But Europe, they're so far ahead of us because they're working with such talented guys. And then like there was people like myself, and I'm not saying I'm talented, but I had experience. And no, I've been to like WWE and stuff. So then I'm there also working 7 nights a week with these guys. And it's all you do is wrestle. It's a job. You wrestle town to town. You have fun. You play cards. You sing. The road trips are good. Everybody got along. I mean, Raymond's asked before about like wrestlers' courts. So there'd be these wrestlers' courts in the van where a guy will end up in a thong running a mile on the side of the road, and just as a thong, no shoes, no nothing. Something you think you'd see in Jackass. You'd see this guy running down the road. So you see you're in these old country towns,
like frat house.
And these old country towns where you could very possibly, it's not uncommon to see a sheep on the side of the road or something, But then as you're riding through there, you're thinking you're more likely to see a werewolf, the American werewolf in London or something, a werewolf we're running through the woods. Then there's this pasty white dude in a thong, and his balls are bouncing up and down, and it's like junkity junk, running. And it's so cold and misty. You're like, was that a werewolf or was that a guy in a thong? I don't know.
What is that?
So I mean, it was like times like that, and a few times that I might have been. My phone keeps going on. Sorry, I should have put it on silent. A few times I've been possibly up for cases. You can plead out. You can just like go. You can just go to the judge or whoever and say like, I'll settle for like a bottle of Jack Daniels or something. Because there's no way I'm gonna get in a thong and run a mile. like so if I wait and fight the case and lose, then that penalty will be much higher to buy my way out of it. So it's just best to avoid the court. Say I humbly throw myself upon the mercy court. What would my fine be before the whole running and going to be judged, tried, weighed, found wanting, you know what I mean?
Shaming.
Yeah, so
That's wild.
bottle of Jack is it's a minor thing to pay when you're working 7 shows a night and you have nowhere to spend your money anyway, so you can afford the bottle of Jack. You're like, here you go. Like anything is better than seeing this vampire naked in a thong running down the side of the road. Not only will my balls be bouncing up and down, so will my moobs. They'll be like, blah, 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 blah. They'll think they saw a fucking werewolf. They'll be like, was that a werewolf or elephant or that's just a fat guy in a thong? I was like, whatever it was, they were gonna be disturbed and troubled with that image the rest of their life, wondering what happened. They'll be on an episode of Stranger Things in the Upside Down world or something like.
Or I shouldn't be alive.
Top of that, my eyes they're already buggy and big anyway, so then I'd be blowed up too, and it's cold because I can't run. Oh, it'd be all bad. It would be all bad. So yeah, that's how I came. That's how through Orig Williams, and he sent me over to Brian, and I became good friends with Brian. He just passed away this past year. Legend of a man there for promoting and everything. And he was married to Mitzi Mollett, women's wrestler over there, very famous wrestler, and his daughter promotes. His grandson's now promoting the shows and picking up where his grandpa left off. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what goes on. But I am back over in UK in December. I'll be in Colchester, staying in Colchester. So I only got 2 shows. One's with the guy had me come in early, so on top of having to come in early, I just gonna try to make a trip out of it. Take Susan; she's never been. So, being in Colchester, they have a direct tube train into talk like I'm over there too. They have a train right into London, so I'll get there Thursday morning, so I could sleep up, go into London Thursday night, spend Friday in London, and it's Christmas time there, so it'll be really cool. And I'll work. I'll work. I don't work till Saturday. I do a seminar Saturday and a show Saturday night, and then I work for the Soraya, the Knights. The show they did the whole thing after the wrestling. What was it called? Whatever, Wrestling with My Family or something like that. The whole show.
Yes.
Her family, they've been wrestling. I wrestled. Yeah, I wrestled her whole family. I wrestled her mom, her dad, her brothers. I wrestled her one brother when he's just out of prison. Paige, Paige. But her name's Sarai and her mom. But But so I'm gonna work for them on the Sunday, so that'll be cool to see them and everything. Awesome. And then I'll come home Monday, and then I go back in February for a week, and then I'm grinding on that one. I'll have 4 or 5 shows or 6 shows or something like that. But not for Brian. Brian's passed away, unfortunately. But hopefully Joseph gets things running, and then I can fall back. If I'm still wrestling, blessed enough to be wrestling and enough good health, I'll fall back into that maybe in October next year. So we'll see. But I do miss it. It's what he's asking me, what's my favorite country in Europe and why, and what's the worst with your experiences? What's that say? I don't have my
what is your favorite country in Europe and why, and what's the worst in your experience country?
Well, tell me what countries are in Europe, Raymond, because I'm not educated enough. I just travel and visit. What do you call Europe? Germany? I love Germany. And I love England. I love Ireland. Ireland's really good. England's great too. I mean, I'm only there in the winter and the fall, the cold and the colder months, the cold and rainy and the colder and rainier months. But I feel at home there. I almost feel like, it's probably if you do my, how we talked about doing my sister did the, that DNA thing or whatever.
23andMe.
I don't know where you can find out all your where you. Mine is like, Raymond, don't be offended, but mine is like white and whiter. It's like England, Ireland and Germany, England and Germany. Like, so it's probably why I feel at home at all those places. It just feels natural, even though I just adjust really well there. It doesn't bother me. The cold, I don't like it, but
I feel it though, because I was
doesn't
there and I
bother
was
me.
like, it felt
The
nice.
toilets, everything on the wrong side of the road doesn't bother me. Maybe it's the right side, we're on the wrong side. Who knows? But who's the judge? And it's weird. Have you ever noticed? I think when they came over the colonies or whatever here to settle in the States to flee England and all that and get away from the Queen and the taxes.
Yeah.
They were so angry and so upset with everything that they put everything on the opposite side. Have you noticed that? So in England, the toilet things will be on that side, so it'll be on the right side here or the left, vice versa. The roads, they switched the roads. Everything, the lightings, the red, yellow, green is green, yellow, red. So it's red, we stop. It's green, go, yellow, caution, stop. Over there, it goes yellow to green.
Yeah.
They do everything completely opposite. Everything they just did it completely opposite. So if you're in doubt over there and you can't figure something out, just do the opposite of what you would do here. So and you'll be right. But I love it over there.
I love Europe.
I've drank a lot of tea. Yeah, you just was in France, right?
I've been to Spain and France, and I mean, I'm
Spain
64%
rocks.
European,
Yeah,
so
España.
technically. I don't know.
Spain is great.
Majority.
Spain, Madrid's a really great city.
I was in Madrid, yeah.
They'll party on the beach till the sun comes up, like bonfires and music. I mean, nothing crazy, just really nice, chill vibe. It's really good Spain.
Everything's so like slow paced compared to the U.S.
But Tony has an uncle that owns a house on a cliff in Spain, but you can see these. It's really famous area. I can't think of it, but we have an open invite.
Visa?
No, we have an open invite to stay there. I do, so I'm sure it goes to you too. He would say it's fine, but
I don't know.
I'm gonna go crash his uncle's house instead of hotel because it's up on the hill and it'll be dope. It's gonna be good. But Spain's cool. I like Spain.
I definitely want to go back.
Been a little bit everywhere. I just don't know what really stands out. I mean, Ireland's really cool.
My older sister lives in Barcelona, so I have to go. I've never been to Barcelona. Never been.
No.
So
Been there. Rome, wrestled in all these places. So
I want to go to Rome too. I have
they're
a
all-
whole list.
cool.
Like I need to start traveling more. Like I have a whole list I haven't even
Wow.
tapped into.
I'll always pack your wrestling boots. I've never been there on my own vacation. It's always been the wrestle.
I always pack my wrestling.
Yeah.
Speaking of, you need to still help me pick them out.
The wrestling boots?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd done that already.
I said I needed your help.
Oh, I missed that part. Like, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
we
Well,
can do it now.
It's okay.
You have it now? We'll have everybody help us pick it up.
No. I went to that one website you told me. They only had like size 7 in men's, which technically I'm a 7.5
Which
in
website
men's.
was that? Like,
High Spots?
oh, High Spots. Yeah, but that's just to buy a quick pair, like not a custom.
Yeah,
pair,
I don't know.
That's just to buy like.
I guess I don't know. Like I want to know like the legitimate stuff, so I'm not like paying for like.
I just
cheap
added
ass,
another
you know.
one. There's you can get boots custom made different places.
We'll sit down Monday.
Mexico too.
Not too late, so you can get some
Nice,
sleep.
yeah. You need to get gear though because maybe you only
mean,
you
when
only
we're
been training
Saturday-
6 months, but you're ahead of other people, and the only way to get better is if you're in the right place at the right time in the log ring time. You could train forever. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. That's a
Right.
saying I picked up in England from Dixon, which is like the Royal Military, and I believe in that. Proper planning prevents piss poor performances. So like
I think here
even
it's the same thing, except
Yeah.
instead of piss, it's poor.
Yeah.
Poor performance.
piss poor performance. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. 6 P's.
6 feet. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but it is
Makes
kind of the
sense.
same thing if you think about it.
Yeah. And then what was it? Kobe Bryant says preparation leads to confidence, or I don't know. I forgot the saying.
Was it
Proper
preparation? At least,
I'm horrible with sayings. Oh my god.
well, there's one about training, and all that meets preparation meets timing or something.
Something,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
it'll come to me.
Or would you say just don't ever turn down opportunity? Just accept it and then get ready.
Do what now?
I was like, would you prefer?
Is that like you going to Germany or something?
Something like that. Like, you said that when you went to Puerto Rico with the Fangs.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, you fake it till you make it. You just, you get in there and figure it out because you may never get that opportunity again. You know what I mean? So it might be once in a lifetime. You just take
Right.
it, you get in there and you make the best of it. You just say, yeah, I'm ready. You go and you figure it out. Like you're training 6 months, but you could get yourself through a match. If you had gear and the opportunity came up, you could get yourself through the match. Your 6 months of training is like other people's 2 years of training.
That's
I'm not
crazy.
putting my training over, but the training's different and you have different things and you have footwork. Footwork is everything and you have a foundation already. So with that foundation, you could go out and be fine anywhere and get through a match. And I'm not putting my training over. I'm just saying you're just trained in a different system, and you can do that. And that system supports you being able to go out and do other things. Like I may be so hard on Sir Johnny, but he'll have in other people's eyes, he'll have a great match. In my coach's eyes, I'm like, kid, because he's skipping past all the basics and he's doing all that fancy stuff and cheating the footwork because he never really got it down. But he's not having bad matches in the eyes of the rest of the world, or even trained people watching him. They might be like, the kid's got some, like, even Elliot will go, like, Sir Johnny's all right. It's just me as a trainer seeing him every day and watching him skip the process and then come back. But even though his skipping processes, is the little bit he got in that process is still enough to carry him through matches. So and I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm just saying he just frustrates me as a trainer. Like I want everybody to be perfect at perfection. But and we're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We can't be. It's impossible, maybe. But we can try our damnedest to be. To be the best we can be. And so like all of them. There's nobody in our school that I don't think could, like right now that's been there 4 or 5 months that couldn't go have a match. Really, I mean they can. Compared to some of the people's other matches I've seen, you can go out and do an enhancement match where somebody just comes in because you can all bump, you understand where to be, you understand where to feed. You may not have strikes and power moves and roped skills yet in that short of time, but you're on the ropes and everything now. But they're still capable of going in there and pulling off a match. So and that's just with the foundation alone. So it's a good thing. So I don't even know where we're at now. Where are we?
I was gonna say I am meeting with that gear girl on Saturday, so.
She makes really cool gear. I like the one-legged ones and stuff, but you want both legs. I think.
I'll be texting you a bunch of pictures. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Blow you up like a normal
gear. You got to make sure gear is something wrestling gear and characters. Mm-hmm. Characters first, and then the gear you wear. You got to be comfortable and good with both, because if you're uncomfortable, it's not going to come across to everybody. The only thing that's going to come across to the fans or people watching it or anybody that's looking to book you or anything is that you're uncomfortable. You got to be comfortable with the character you're doing, and you got to be comfortable with the gear you're wearing. So even if it may seem like not enough to somebody else, but you're comfortable in it, that's all that matters, because then you're going to get more out of you. Like, you're going to have shit hanging out and you're not comfortable in it, then you're never going to sit right in the groove. So if you go in and it's less flash and more safety of like an ass hanging out or boobs or whatever, or belly or whatever's going on in the person's world,
definitely wearing pants to begin with.
If you're comfortable in it, then your matches are going to be better because you're more comfortable, and your character is going to be better because you're not constantly worried, is my boob out or my butt out, or do I look heavy in this, or is it unflattering in this way, or do I look like a hoe this way or something? I don't know. Like, do I look too promiscuous is I guess the proper word. Stuff like that. So you got to be comfortable with it. So even if it's dulled down in a sense or safe in a sense, as long as you're comfortable, you're gonna excel out on the back end in a better way anyway. So don't rush that process. Just be comfortable with what you choose and comfortable. Yeah, just be comfortable.
Good advice.
Be comfortable.
Thank you. Good advice.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we got something else up there now.
NXT moving to the CW network. Okay. NXT moves to. I repeated the same thing. NXT moves to the CW. WWE NXT is set to move from the USA Network to the CW Network in October 2024. This is said to be positive for WWE, with the CW reaching more viewers than USA Network. The NWA deal jeopardized. Is this like another topic right there? Okay, another topic. So NWA deal jeopardized. NWA's potential television deals with the CW, including a reality series, are in jeopardy following a controversial segment that was poorly received, where a wrestler was seen snorting what seemed to be cocaine during the show, and Warner Bros. Discovery, who owns TNT Network, the home of AEW Dynamite, also owns a 12.5% stake in the CW Network.
How do you see all that?
So question for you, given your experience, what's the potential impact of a controversial segment like the one NWA aired? And during your time in the WWF during the Attitude Era, where you guys pushed the limits, can you recall any incidents that took place that upset sponsors or the network?
I don't know. Let's just go back to the beginning. NXT moving to CW.
That was
let's go back. Yeah. So let's just go back like the things that do make sense to me. What makes sense to me about NXT moving to CW over USA is probably dollar cents. Dollar cents of where maybe it's 15 million to be on USA Network. They're gonna get, but they'll get 30 million on CW. More followers, more money, more stuff. So yes, and that's I mean, things move, brands change. So yeah, that's probably good in WWE, money wise. You got more money. So if NXT has more money, what can NXT do? More house shows, expand, right? So that's going to give them an opportunity to run more shows, maybe coincide with the pay-per-views. Like when they first started, they were doing more house shows and stuff like that, like out of Florida. Like, so this will give them chances to, if you get $15 million more in towards your budget, say you had 15 there and it goes to 30 million. Now that extra 15, that's a lot of money to like pick and choose some more shows to fly people in and or feed off their other brands like the Smack, Raw or something or whatever. When there's a pay-per-view in town, they could go do a little venue on a Friday night and then there's a pay-per-view on Saturday night, right? So I think that's good for NXT, WWE in a sense. I think that's good for them. The NWA deal, I don't know much about it. Like, I get the vibe that Billy Corgan's thing was based a lot on the reality show for his wedding, getting married. I mean, I don't know. I might be talking out of place or out of turn because I don't know. I didn't read up on any of this or study any of this or talk to any of them personally about any of this. So it might be based on that. The controversial thing, I mean, I've heard, it's hard not to hear about it.
Yeah,
snorting cocaine in the locker room or acting like you're snorting cocaine in the locker room. I don't think it's a good thing. But that doesn't mean it was a bad thing in a sense, because if it's entertainment and you look at it as like a TV show, that's probably how Billy Corgan looked at it, as like, hey, SVU has rape, murder, and this, but it's okay. It's a TV show. So it's probably how they were looking at it, like wrestling. But wrestling has always portrayed itself to be real in a sense. So with that brand and that image coming, that people are going to look at it like, no, like, wrestlers are judged different. So if they see a wrestler snorting cocaine on a show, it's looked at different than seeing Zac Efron snorting cocaine in Neighbors or something. One of those movies or whatever, one of those silly movies where he runs around with just a lot of oil on and no shirt, like something like. So we're held at a different standard for whatever reason in the entertainment world. So is it fair? No. But at the same time, we spent all these years trying to perceive wrestling as real, like to the point where in Florida Championship Wrestling, Eddie Graham would encourage his champion, yeah, sure, go get in a bar fight if you're a heel, this and this and that, but you better win. If you don't win that bar fight, they're going to pull that title off you because they're trying to portray everything as real, as real as it possibly can. So then now, as things turn over and everything, a lot of people are still look at it in that viewing sense. So if they see a guy snorting cocaine in the locker room, they're like, what is this for kids? Kids are watching, but it's just an edgier show, and maybe that's how Billy Corgan looked at it. Does it hurt them? I mean, if you read the media, they say it's in flux. It has, maybe. I don't think it's hurt the reality part of it. Did WWE hurt them by going there? I don't know. I don't know if they cock-blocked them or tried to. I think if WWE wanted to, they could. Like, maybe. A lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of viewers. Weighed out to where NWA would be if you got the scales of justice out here, You got WWE's numbers are heavy scaled, and this one's floating, so. But you need content. The world needs so much content. So I'm one to ask about it. I'm not educated on stuff. I don't work as a producer. I'm not in that world. I don't know their conversations. I don't know the actual things. I'm not there for CWA to go. CW going, oh, you can't do that. I'm sure that they probably took notice to it and said, what the fuck? But is it wrong? Oh, who am I to say it's wrong? Because, like I said, you could watch Miami Vice or whatever's on things. Unless I don't know what the CW programming is. I don't know what their shows are. Maybe they don't have shows edgy like with that kind of stuff. I don't know either. See, I don't know their logistics or their target markets.
Right.
Either what they're looking, right? You're not going to see that on NXT. I can tell you that. I mean, you'll see some more current stuff and topics and storylines like bad TV, like almost like your Housewives or something. But my personal feelings about like snorting cocaine or something, I believe intent of doing something is a lot stronger than actually showing you do something. So if you leave a mystery to it and you're like, oh, were they going to do that? Is that what they were going to do? You're going to get more mileage out of that, and you're not going to break as many eggs. And it's a lot safer route. My imagination, I don't know how your imagination is, but my imagination is way more crazier than reality. Like, I can create things in my head way more interesting and warped than you can actually show me. So intent is better. So
type of person.
that's just me personally. I wouldn't have done it. I'm sure it has affected how some people are looking at it, corporate-wise, and probably a lot of the average wrestling fans too. But it's his product, and if that's the route he wants to go, maybe he's trying to say, hey, if we're entertainment, we're entertainment. Although I never looked at NWA's entertainment, I thought they were traditional wrestling. So there's a lot of weird things in there, but I'm not a rock star, and I'm not as talented as Billy Corgan. That dude he's a rock star. Like, that is Smashing Pumpkins. That dude was the voice of the 90s. Like, his music changed people's lives, you know. He sings like the song Best Day of Your Life was about committing suicide. So he's always, the one song, so like the ice cream truck, he's going to kill himself, right? That's the best day of his life. What is it? How's it go? I can't hit it. But what I'm saying is he's always been edgy. It's there. He was the voice of the 90s. He's got a pulse on things we don't have. Mixing wrestling with that pulse, I don't know. Mixing music with it, yeah, he's a mastermind and talented, but how people take it, are they ready for it? I don't know, you know. So I know I'm all over the place with all that, but I just can't really give you an honest thing. I can just tell you how I feel, and how I would I would approach it, but I'm more conservative in a sense. Like I said, the intent, my imagination is way better than me actually seeing something happen. So, you know, I'll go a different route, break less eggs, and still get the same result. But you push the envelope, you either push the envelope or you don't, you know. So he's the kind of guy, he's creative, he's got a genius mind, you know, he's a genius, you know, and with music and everything else. And so who knows? Maybe he's onto something bigger than we know. But the WWE affected, I have no idea. I'm not in those meetings. Is there room for two people on the network? I'm sure. If WWE wanted to block something, I'm sure they could. But maybe they're holding back because that's what they're getting accused of with MLW. Because there's a lawsuit with MLW accusing WWE of poaching talent, cock blocking them from being having a main show on a thing, pulling their stroke. So maybe they can't. So maybe if there is a time that you have to can share a network, this is to be the time, because maybe they don't want to do that with all eyes on them with that other lawsuit, because it's a big battle between MLW and WWE about all that. So, and stuff like blocking people from shows. So does it hurt them? No. I mean, the reality show, no. I think it's totally different. I think it's not NXT, it's not wrestling. It's going to be a lot about him getting married and him running a company, maybe, you know, or something, and trying to pull this together and do angles like this without getting heat, you know, like where you can snort cocaine in a locker room with Sinister Minister, you know, who they're just doing what that dude does. That's what that's probably what was going on. I don't know, but he's a great guy. But I've been in his hotel rooms a few times and left with my life. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm praying for that guy. I think he's like in the Satanic Church and everything. He's like, yeah, he's a heavy, intense individual. Great guy though. I mean, nicest as he can be, you know. But just not sure where I stand in the same area as he's standing. You know, like when God comes to calling, I don't think I want to be standing next to him when God's coming to calling. You know, I'm gonna. When the man upstairs comes to get me, I'm gonna be across the water somewhere from him and be like, he's over there, like hellfire, brimstone, locust over there, like come here, take me that way. But yeah, so that's some crazy stuff. So we'll see where it all shakes down and plays out. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely an interesting time. I'm definitely. Yeah, it's got my curiosity, and I want to see where it goes, you know.
Guess we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, and see everything that starts like next October, so yeah. So
it's still got time. That's
for WWE and NXT. But definitely a good move for NXT, I think. I think it frees up money and frees them up to be able to go on the road more. If that's what they do. I don't know what they're doing with it. They can do whatever they want with their money. They can just invest in they got great production. They got everything they need. So I would imagine if my hypothesis, my best educated guess, I could think it would just free up more money for them to do more house shows, like on the road, out of Florida. Like that's what I would think, but I'm not again in that office or in those social circles that know that kind of thing. So
yeah,
but that's what would make sense to me. If I was a business guy, that's how I'd be looking at it. All right, we're freeing that up to be able to do more shows out on the road.
Yeah, right. Very fair.
Yeah. All right. Where else we got, Raymond? We good on time? Oh, or not on time. What we got? You got to get back to work. So, how much time we at, Raymond?
No, we're probably pretty much good.
Oh, we're pretty much good. Okay, sorry. Oh, you're saying yeah. Like, oh, all right.
Okay.
Well, All right, so we went over that. You got any other questions there, Nikki B? There, anything?
Do you have any similarities and something happened in WWF that you can remember right now?
What? What are you talking about now?
Did anything
I didn't cover enough for you in that? Like,
I'm just saying, if wanted like 2 more minutes, if something happened in WWF where the network was like, oh shit.
as far as, is there any similarities of something that happened in WWE? I don't know. Shoot, I don't know. Maybe, I mean, Val Venus was pushing the edge with the whole porn thing, you know, but I don't know the networks. It was the Attitude Era. It was like the Wild Wild West. I got a lot of way with everything. You had Kitty wrestling in Jello or something. You had Sable with handprints on her titties, like, and no top, right? I mean, you never knew what you were going to get. You had Kane. I just saw somebody put a thing up on Twitter where the fans booed when they stopped Kane from burning the Brood, myself, Christian Edge, and Jimmy Carderas, the referee in Texas. People booed. It was the Attitude Era. So I think they had like a lot of free reign back then. It was like a special time. So I'm sure later, as the Ruthless Aggression or whatever that other era came and they started blending in the network things, I think there was other problems, like maybe Kane going into a funeral home to sleep with a corpse. You remember that? That was a bit weird. Do you remember that at all? There was a lot of weird stuff that probably had some flashback. I mean, I can only speak of some current stuff where, like when Edge wanted to do the Bloodbath in SummerSlam or whatever a year ago or whatever it was when he first came back, but they had to call it the Brood Bath. They couldn't call it blood. It couldn't be red. It had to be black. So they want to simulate blood. It was all network things influenced on that. So I'm sure through the years it's just changed. Also, it's a different beast now in the world with social media and this and that and feelings and respecting other people's feelings, genders, everything. Race, everything. It's a really sensitive world. Like, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's super sensitive now. So I'm sure all the networks are like, whoa, wait a minute, we got recovering addicts. Like, we can't be just promoting cocaine. There's kids ODing every day on fentanyl. Blah 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 blah. I mean, I think it's just different times. I think the Attitude Era was when I was active in it. It was just like the Wild Wild West. So there wasn't a whole lot of things unless you just acted like an asshole in public and you were super effed up and. Then you got drug tested, sent to rehab, or fired. But it was a special time. You got away with a lot of things. Things are just totally different now. So it's hard to compare it. It's just two different times. It's just two different times. Maybe that's what I just should have said in the get-go. Then that whole round the world thing I went. But I guess we're about out of time there, Nikki B and Raymond. So that was episode, 84?
84.
Fang and a Bang with Gangrel, myself, Nikki B, Raymond over there being mysterious in the dark corner. So we covered topics of like NXT moving to CW. Did Billy Corgan's NWA push it a little bit too far with the cocaine and simulating snorting cocaine. Travels in Europe, UK, right. How I got there in England. And what I loved or our favorite countries were. And of course, our crazy travels from the weekends and shows we attended over the past 2 weekends in Raymond's Germany trip as well. A little bit. We did touch on it. He stayed very quiet. He wasn't happy. So thank you, everybody. Want some?
Get some.
Bad enough.
Take some.